Good afternoon, dear students. Now, the remaining part of the poem Keeping Quiet. I am going to explain the third stanza. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and weep about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want to truck with death. Dear students, the poet asks everyone to stop those activities which are damaging the environment. Today, all the human beings are making money by damaging the environment with their activities, such as mining, deforestation, letting the chemical waste into rivers, etc. The poet asks us not to do so. He also requests people not to involve in wars, as there is no benefit of achieving such kinds of victory in which no one is left alive. He says so because wars and environmental damage will lead to no life on earth. Rather, he wants people to adopt a new approach towards life and mankind. He says that you should treat your enemy like brothers and promote peace and harmony in the world. Now, dear students, some literary devices in the third stanza. Alliteration, war with W sound repeated, clean clothes, C sound is repeated. So both are the examples are alliteration. Now assonance, use of vowel sound O. Example, victory with no survivors would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers. This is the example of assonance. Now repetition, use of war. So here's repetition, dear students. Now the fourth stanza, if we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Now explanation, dear students, of the fourth stanza. Now the poet wants to clarify to his readers that when he asked them to stop from saying or doing anything, he doesn't want anyone to become a non-active person. Non-active is a person who remains idle and doesn't do anything. Here, he simply means that we should stop and see the consequences of our actions or deeds. The poet doesn't want to see people being killed due to their greed for money and expansion of territories. Further, he says that people are continuously working to achieve their task without even thinking about their results. They are in fear of death and therefore want to achieve most of the things before their death. Here he urges them to stop for a while and take some moment to relish on what they have achieved till now. Everyone here is living a life in which he wants to achieve various things one after another. But now the poet says it is the time to stop and see what has been achieved and should be enjoyed. This will help us skip the sadness which has become so prominent in our lives. The sadness of not enjoying what we have achieved and the greed to achieve what next is in the list to be achieved. Now dear students, this is the explanation of the fourth stanza. Now literary devices. Alliteration, we were so single-minded. So here alliteration. Enjambment, and for once could perhaps a huge silence of threatening ourselves with death. This is the example of enjambment. Now the fifth stanza, dear students, explanation. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So now the poet suggests to the human beings that we should learn a lesson from earth. During the winters everything freezes and becomes lifeless, but when season changes and it's the one set of the spring season, everything present in the nature such as the trees, birds, rivers, etc. gets life. So here the poet, by giving the example of nature, wants to say that all the human beings should stop and try to judge their deeds or actions. They can try and make their life better if the calmness, peace, with the calmness and peace. Finally, he ends up by saying that now he will count up to 12 so that we all may become quiet. Here quiet means to calm down ourselves and move towards the path of peace and harmony. After saying this, he says, I will go. He says so as he has conveyed his message to the people and wants them to be left alone to think about it and walk the direction of peace. This is the last stanza explanation, dear students. And if you have any query, any doubt after listening the audio, the explanation, then you can send your queries. Your queries are welcome here. Thank you, dear students. Good day.